Hello guys, my name is Theodora and I'm a law student at UCL and I've recently joined the TCL YouTube team. And this video is going to be about 6 underrated and uncommon commercial awareness resources that I've discovered during lockdown. And these are resources that I haven't heard a lot of people mentioning, so I think they can be really useful if you're trying to improve your commercial awareness for the next recruitment cycle. So if you're bored of hearing that you should read the news every day, then please keep on watching. So number one is to look up interviews with lawyers and especially with partners. And there are plenty of interviews out there, from written interviews to video and podcast ones. Now I prefer written ones because I'm more of a visual learner, but it's entirely up to you. And I think they can all be really useful in terms of getting some in-depth research into a law firm, because the interviewer is gonna ask the partner about the strategy of the firm and about how they're planning to expand in 5 years, or why they joined and stayed at that firm. These are all questions that you might have and you won't get a chance to ask these people that are at the top of the ladder. Usually at networking events, you're gonna be chatting with trainees and associates, and I think it's really useful to get a view of someone who's actually in charge of the strategy of that firm. And I'm gonna link down below some of my favorite partner interviews. My second tip would be to read market analysis, so how stocks fluctuate, and company quarterly results. And I couple those together because I think they're quite connected and one is very useful in understanding the other. And I appreciate that this can be jargon heavy, but I don't think you have to be an equity analyst to read and understand those. I think they are especially useful right now when the market is fluctuating so much, and you can note how each fluctuation reflects some deeper changes in the economy. The quarterly results will help you understand stocks better, because a company with bad quarterly results will see its shares decline as a result of being unprofitable. So my 2 tips in how to read those: firstly, identify sectors that you are interested in, like energy or retail, and then identify the market leading companies in those sectors and follow their quarterly results. And secondly, if you find reading quarterly results too time consuming, then try reading press releases first, because they outline some of the key elements of interest to investors, including revenue, net income, earnings per share, or dividends. My third resource would be the law and the legal services topics on DFT, because I think DFT is great not just for business news but also for understanding the legal sector better. But in order to do that, you need to follow these topics and check them regularly, because articles on the legal industry will not often pop up on the front page of DFT, so you might not find them if you just read the headlines. There are some great resources on US firms especially, and also comparisons with UK firms, and I will link some of the best articles that I found down below. My fourth resource would be reading reports, which are usually done on an annual basis by investment banks, accountancy firms, or consultancy firms, and they cover topics such as M&A, private equity, or innovation. I think it's a mistake to just look on law firms' websites for reports like these, because you would be missing out on a lot of other great resources which are not written by law firms. The downside of these reports is that they tend to be quite long, but I think they're really insightful if you have time to read them. And if not, at least try to skim through them and read the parts that you're most interested in. They also contain a lot of statistics and graphs, which I think can be very useful for interviews, where you might be given such a graph and be asked to analyze it. And also pay attention to the writing style, which is a lot more concise than what we were used to from writing essays. I think this also can be very useful for writing applications. Another great resource I think is Watson's Daily, which is a startup created by Peter Watson, who is a former stockbroker, and he makes a daily summary of the most important business news, and he also notes why each of these is important and why you should remember it. I think this is very useful because he narrows down articles from an average of 5 newspapers a day, and obviously you won't have time to read all of these, so the fact that he makes that summary for you and the fact that you can read that in 5 minutes is very useful in just getting a quick brush up on what's happening. And it also features a podcast and the weekly quiz where you can test your commercial knowledge. And if you want to subscribe and pay a small fee, you're also going to get an app, a weekly summary, a monthly and a yearly one. So definitely check Watson's Daily out. And last but not least, I'm sure you've heard of The Lawyer and Legal Business, which are some of the most well-known legal newspapers on the market, but they also feature some very expensive subscription fees. And if you don't want to pay for those but still want to get access to their content, then just read their monthly magazine, which you can access online for both The Lawyer and Legal Business, and it's free. It's basically a roundup of the most important legal news. It features comparisons between different law firms. It speaks about lateral hires and about trends in the legal market. So, although these are also quite long, I think they're really useful. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to this channel before you leave. And also let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any suggestions for future videos. Thank you and see you soon.